Hi there, this is Dory Etter, and it is time for another Tiny Training Tuesday. Today we are continuing our series on building out a WordPress website, and it is a tiny tech training covering getting to go live with WordPress.org. We are making the assumption that you've chosen to go with WordPress.org, which if you are still confused about WordPress.com or WordPress.org, that was in the last Tiny Training Tuesday. So this time we're talking about, now that you've made the choice to go to WordPress.org, what does it take to actually get to there's something live on the web? That's what we're going to go through today. And there are I'm going to show you those steps today. And what we have is 5 steps. The first step is to buy your URL or your address. And I'm going to actually show you each of these as soon as we get into the live portion. But the first step is to buy your URL or your address. And we do that on, I'm going to do that today on GoDaddy. There are other places you can do that, but I'm going to do that today on GoDaddy and show you how that works. Then we're going to buy your hosting plan. And I'm going to show you some options. And then today we're going to do that on HostGator. And that's not inside the cPanel. We're going to buy the hosting plan outside of cPanel. We're going to add your URL to the hosting plan. That is done inside the cPanel on HostGator, and I'll show you what I'm talking about on that as well. And then the fourth step is to update the name servers on the URL, which is done inside GoDaddy. And the fifth step is install WordPress onto the URL, which is done in HostGator. I'm showing you this because I want to show you that we're going to go to GoDaddy. We're going to go to wherever we buy our URL. We're going to go there first, and then we're going to go to where we buy our hosting, and then we're going to go back to where we buy our URL, and then we're going to go back to our hosting account. This is probably the most complex thing that there is about WordPress, because once you get WordPress installed, you're going to do 99% of everything that you do to update your website is going to be done inside WordPress. But this is the part that you have to have at least a little bit of understanding on before you get to actually having the website. Let's move into each of these steps. Start with the first one, which is buying your URL or your address. Like I said, I'm going to show you GoDaddy simply because that is the site that I have, and I find it the simplest. It's simple to use, and I have some websites there that we can already use for this service. But you would just enter a domain name, and let's just say that you wanted to call it, fantastic artwork by Dory.com. So I will search that domain name. I bet that fantastic artwork by Dory is, look, it's available. Shocking. So you can, here's the price. It's $12.99. They'll show me other options. You don't need to buy the other options. I don't do that. So you just got your .com. If you can't get your .com and you're really set on your name, you can get other. It's becoming more common to have other endings now, simply because there are more endings coming out. So you'll see that. And then I'm going to go over here, and I had said before, if you go into Google and you search for GoDaddy coupons, then you'll actually almost always find, here's a 50% off coupon, here is a 99-cent domain name. So you can find a lot of different things if you click on this. Then when I go back, it opens this up for me, and I can go back in here and say fantastic artwork by Dory.com. And this time you'll see that it'll show me the regular price. Oh, nope, it's not letting me because it's already cookied on my, no, there we go, special offer, additional comms. So let's see what we've got. I can go here. Yeah, it's probably got me cookied because it knows me, but you should be able to get that and hit select and be able to get it for 99 cents. All right, and these are some of the new, we've got Guru is a new one that's coming out, and .cool. So these are some of the ones that are, you can see they're still new, so they're a little bit more expensive a year and things like that. And then you can see here that they have these things called premiums. and their premiums are ones that they think, for a variety of different reasons, are super valuable, so they have different prices on them. But you would just choose your domain here, you'll go through the cart, you'll purchase it, and once you do, then I'm going to show you what the inside of GoDaddy looks like. So just to remember, this is now, we are buying the URL or address, and we have done that on GoDaddy. So once we have chosen that and gone through the process of purchasing that, we are going to have an account inside GoDaddy, and it'll look something like this. So this is all of my information. Now, the next step that we're going to do is buy your hosting plan. So I'm going to take you through a couple of different options on hosting plans. As I said before, the one that I use is HostGator, what I've been using, and I'm moving over to a more WordPress professional one called WordPress Engine. But this is the one that I've been using. I still have an account here, so I'm going to show it to you. If you do go with this one, you can see that they have this, but I'm going to show you the hosting plans at HostGator. I tend to buy the baby plan. It's a tiny bit more. It's still going to end up being about $100 a year or 118 or so. Again, you can look for coupons here, 25% off anything. So you can find different coupons at different places. But the Hatchling plan, which is the one, it only gives you a single domain, which may be okay. So you may decide you're only ever going to have one domain name. But I found pretty quickly that I used multiple domain names, and this gives you unlimited. So that's HostGator. There's also this really great special going on right now with DreamHost. DreamHost gives you unlimited domain hosting here. They do give you one free domain, so if you go with this, you can even buy your domain. You can get your domain registered, which is what we're doing over at GoDaddy. You can do that right here on DreamHost as well. And this offer is good for a few more days, and it's really a great deal. It's 80% off, and I've included the link in the last message. I'll include the link again. It's just a really awesome deal. If you click sign up today, it'll just take you through the process. Super simple. Follow each of these 3 steps. I'll go back and show you the plans that they have so that you can, but you just want to go with, it's a shared web hosting is the one that you're going to want to use. But let's go ahead here and do the ones they have, and this is going to be the one that they offer for the $1.95 a month, which is really great. It's a shared hosting, which is what I show generally. The VPS is that version of sort of the enhanced WordPress is the version that they tend to use. And then they have dedicated hosting. You don't need dedicated hosting. Dedicated hosting is more expensive across the board, and you're a long way from needing dedicated hosting if you're just getting started. So you have, this is what you're going to pick up. You can take a look at it if you want, but this is the one that you would choose. There's also the option of Bluehost, and Bluehost is a sort of a preferred provider from WordPress. So Bluehost has, again, they have the shared hosting, VPS hosting, and dedicated, recommending the shared hosting to get started. Again, this is unlimited domains and $4.95 a month. You get all of the, basically the same features. And again, I believe this one, will give you one domain name. So if you go through it, you could get your domain name on Bluehost instead of getting it through GoDaddy. I like getting all of mine through GoDaddy because then I have a single panel for everything. But let's now go back to, we're now buying our hosting plan. So let's say, again, for these purposes, I've gone with HostGator, and I've chosen this this plan. Now, when I do that, what's going to happen is, again, I'm going to have it's going to send me all the information that I need to have an account. And what I'm going to show you at this point is going to be a little bit different than what you would go through, because I already have, obviously, I already have hosting on DoorYetter.com. But remember this whole deal about unlimited domains. The whole deal with unlimited domains means that I can have multiple domains hosted on there. So for this, adding your URL to your hosting plan, if you only have one URL, when you set up your account, you're going to be quote unquote adding that URL to your hosting account. So this step 3 is going to be covered through the process that they put you through to get your website to buy your hosting plan. But I want to make sure that you know that there is a point where you have to, you're actually getting that URL that you purchased connected to the hosting account that you have. When you do it the first time, it looks like you didn't do anything, but you actually did. It was done during your setup. At this point, I'm now going to go into my control panel, and what it's called in my case, because I have multiple URLs, it's called an add-on domain. So I would go over here and click add-on domain, and it will say, great, what's the domain name that you want to use? So I am going to go into my GoDaddy account and see my domains. You're going to see that I am a domain purchaser. All right, here's one that hasn't been used yet, and that is Dory Waiota. Waiota is my middle name. So I will put that one in here. And the new domain name is dorywaiota.com. Put the whole thing in there. These two things you can leave blank. Just want to make a password. I have a password creation tool. I'm going to just use something here that just any old thing. And then, yeah, I don't even know if it'll let me because it's very weak, but let me go ahead and see. So it's doing its thing, it's working, it's thinking. Okay, there we go, it's been created. Now, if you'd like to manage the files, you can do it here, or I can do it. Okay, so awesome. So there I go. I now have a thing here called dorywaiota.com. All right, well, let's go back to our list. So buy the URL, done that. Buy your hosting plan, done that. Add your URL inside the cPanel, done that. Now here's this thing, update the name servers on the URL, and that's in GoDaddy. So now I have to go back to GoDaddy and tell it that I want it to start pulling information from this particular place. Let me show you how we do that. We're going to go into GoDaddy, and there is the waiota.com. Okay, perfect. I'm going to hit, because these are my domains, I'm going to hit launch. And when I do, look, here are name servers. Okay, well, what do I change them to? Here are name servers. It's always going to be somewhere you're going to see the word name servers. Okay, I want to change them to, let's go back home here. There's going to be some little statistical box, little thing somewhere. Here are my name servers right here. Here's my account information. And you see these are my name servers. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out, go over here, and I'm going to manage that. And when I do, I want to hit custom. And then I'm going to enter the custom name servers. And I'm just going to put that one, and then the other one was 64, and I hit OK. All right, there we go. Those are them. I'm going to hit save. Now it's going to tell me this thing. It may take a few moments to take effect. Okay, it probably will, no problem. Let me go back to my list. What's the next thing I'm going to do? Oh, I'm going to install WordPress on the URL using HostGator, inside HostGator using Fantastic. Now we're back into our HostGator control panel. And if we look down here, Fantastico Deluxe. Fantastico Deluxe. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Fantastico. Now when I show this to you, when you're looking at this, if there are some pieces blurred out, it's because I kind of went through and checked out what's okay to show publicly and what's not. But so here is Fantastico. And what do I want to do? Well, if you look right here, it says WordPress. So let's just click on the WordPress button. All right, it says, well, this is the blogging software. What am I going to do? New installation. Now, if you use something other than HostGator, is it going to look exactly like this? No. But however it looks, there's going to be a thing that's like a one-click WordPress installation or something like that. That's what you're looking for. So here we go, one-click new installation. It's going to ask me a couple of questions as soon as it stops thinking. All right, it's going to say, well, what domain do you want it on? Well, I want it on thatdorywyota.com. And I'm going to leave this blank. If you leave this blank, it'll put in the root directory of the domain. So that's what you want. Administrator username. So a lot of times people put admin and a password in here. I always recommend that you use something other than admin. Using just the word admin is really low for security. We'll put home and then a password. And again, I'm just going to put something in here that's not really a password. And then here's a similar where this is now an admin nickname. And again, you might put, don't just use the word admin in that. And then that's the email address. The site name here is Dory Wyota. And the description, you'll be able to change the description inside WordPress, but we'll say, Dory's middle name blog, right? And install WordPress. And I'll show you where this site name and site description shows up inside WordPress later when we get to that part. Okay, so it's saying this is what you're going to do. You're going to do in Dory Wyota. Okay, fantastic. Finish installation. And if all goes well here in just a minute, I'm going to be able to pull up Dory Wyota. All right, so here we go. It's configured. Everything is set up. You'll need your username and password to enter. That's home and 123456 in this case, and the full URL to the admin area. And says bookmark this, and this is really important. I like to send the email. You can send this email to yourself and you'll get the information. But right now I'm going to go ahead and click on this button, and it is going to open up dorywyota.com. We'll use this to install. I'm going to go ahead and bookmark it, and then we'll use this to install all of our different pieces. And remember, it's home, and then 123456 in this case, and we'll log in. Oh, look at that. It's WordPress. If I go to visit the site, there it is. I now have a website on the internet. So I've done each of these 5 steps, and I now have an actual live site on WordPress.org. Now, it's not pretty yet, right? We're going to cover those things next, but this gets you the steps that you need to go from I have my URL to I now have an actual website. And again, the 5 steps are buying your URL or address, buying your hosting plan, adding your URL to that hosting plan, updating the name servers on the URL, and installing WordPress onto that site. I hope that you have enjoyed this tiny training, this tiny tech training. And if you have questions, please put those into the comment section down there. It's totally fun sharing this with you and talking with you through the computer. If you have other questions about other pieces of this, if there's anything unclear, don't hesitate to ask them. And I then will talk next time about how to actually make this site look like what you would want it to look like, so that we can start with making things look pretty. And we're going to do that with themes, and then the next section that we'll talk about will be some plugins and how to make that powerful. I thank you for your time, and I will see you next Tuesday for another Tiny Training Tuesday.